Okay, good. So we have our background, and now we're going to use the mask method to basically hide the edges here, right? So we want the background here, the white background that is currently under BG here, this image that we brought in to show. And we're going to make that show, we're going to get that to show by hiding some pixels, or I should say showing some pixels on this layer. Now, generally when you're applying a mask, you have to use the marquee tool or generally any selection tool to specify the area that you want to mask. Right? Now, masking is usually done to, of course, hide and show pixels in the area that you select. Right? So it's a method, it's a non-destructive method that is used to hide areas of your image. Anytime you see an image and you notice parts that are missing, it's pretty fair to assume that it was basically being hidden by mask instead of actually being deleted or cut because most graphic artists are going to use masks to hide their pixels. It allows them to edit their pixels later without having to worry about, where did my other pixel go? They can edit it inside the mask. So a mask is essentially like a container, and your images, your pixels can be moved around inside this container. It's this big room, this box that they have to play with. Alright, so using masks do give you the added benefit of having an area for your image to basically play around in, and it allows you to, of course, it future proofs your work by allowing it to be edited at a later date without having to worry about importing back the image because you cut the pixels, right? The pixels are all there, right? So we're going to use the mask to hide these pixels at the side. Now, essentially, since we want to hide the pixels at the side, it's easier to select from inside the box. So we want to select the inner box, so to speak, right? So we're going to select from this second guideline all the way down to the last guideline here. Actually, that might be the first guideline actually. So it's the first horizontal guideline to the last horizontal guideline, and then we go straight across, right? So it's gonna be this area here. So if you select that area and then you apply your mask. Now the mask can be applied in a few ways. Of course, one of the, well, I should say the default way of applying a mask is through the menu. So if you go to the layer menu, you'll see the option to layer mask. Now there's four options here that are available. The reveal all will show all, and hide all will hide all. Those are going to hide all the pixels on the current background, sorry, yeah, on the current background image, or reveal all the pixels on the current background image. You only use those in cases where you want a starting point to start hiding or to start revealing your own pixels. However, we created a selection, so we're going to be using one of these two, reveal selection or hide selection. Now in this case, the selection is basically all of the pixels inside the area. So everything inside this selection is going to be viewed. Everything outside is ignored. So the selection only runs up to the boundaries of the box here. So you notice where these dotted, or they should say these dashed lines are. These are marching ant lines, as they're usually called. That is the boundary of the selection. So if we go to layer mask and we click reveal selection, it's only going to show that area, which is what we want. So that's one of the general ways that you can go about doing that. Another way that you can go about doing that is by using the quick menu, or should say the quick access toolbar here for your layers. So you'll notice they have a few options at the bottom here. The third one lets you add a layer mask. Now, if you left click, it will show that selection. If you hold down the Alt and left click, it will hide that selection. So of course, in this case, you want to show the selection. You want to reveal this area, so you just have to left click once, and that will also work, right? Now, those are the two general ways that you go about using the masks, right? There's another mode called quick mask mode, but we don't need to use that, right? So what any of those two methods would work for now, right? So we have our background image. Now, if you want to preview our current work without the guidelines, you can do so by going to your view menu, show, and then you go to guides. Control semicolon is the keyboard shortcut. That lets you toggle the guidelines so that you can see how your work looks without it. And so far, so good. And that's pretty much that. So we're pretty good so far. Now we're gonna go into adding the images. All right. So yeah.